Welcome to another episode of Thrive Like a Parent podcast. I got to tell you, I am still in my yoga pants from my workout today and my sports bra, and then two layers because it's freezing in Texas, and I totally need to wash my hair. The struggle is real. And I feel like there's no better time than the present to talk about the holiday season and what that brings on for so many. Discussing the truth of what it feels like to live through the holiday seasons as a human, as a parent, as a friend, as a family member, as all of it. And what most don't realize is the holiday season started about a week or two before Halloween. Like it did, because we're getting ramped up into dressing up and eating lots of candy. What part of that does not scream dysregulation, right? And our bodies, what they go through eating all that sugar and all that candy and the hype of it. And then, you jump right into Thanksgiving, and then 3 weeks later, you're into Christmas and then New Year's, and it never ends until, oh boy, wait for it, the third week of January. No joke. You will start to feel your feet come to the ground right around the third week of January. And I leaned into this so much last year because I wanted to feel it, to be able to help support my parents and help them understand what this feels like. And if your kiddos have been struggling at school or more tired or more naggy or more sick, I could do a whole podcast on that. Let's not even go there, right? This is just a struggle bus this time of year. And I will go into my sickness for a little bit. So Eli, they've had something back and forth literally every week. And Eli had the stomach bug 2 weeks ago. And it was pretty horrific. He is 5 years old and he hasn't really gotten the stomach bug that much. And lo and behold, 12 o'clock at night, mommy, comes into my bedroom. He's like, I don't feel good. And I was like, go to the toilet, go to the toilet, go to the toilet. You know how you kind of get, I can't even describe it when you throw up. It's like your whole body exhausting after, right? You tense up. He doesn't know how to put his face in the damn toilet. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. And I'm so sorry for any of you who are wildly allergic to vomit, but it was everywhere. And everyone in my house got it but me. Crazy enough. I kind of felt ew. But the next week we went to a holiday party. Eli had a few cookies, was jumping on the trampoline, got hit in the face, had some mucusy something going on, starts throwing up again. I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're going home from the holiday party. It's never ending, right? And let's not forget to mention, I feel pretty darn lucky that I'm Jewish in this sense, because I don't need to buy a million different holiday presents for everyone. That list doesn't happen for us. Thank you very much. We get lucky in that sense, right? But I do know, and speaking with Maria and Brittany and Emily and all of my staff, the struggle is real to make sure that you are making the list and checking it twice to allow everyone to know how much you care. And I've heard a lot of moms do most of the shopping or all the different things, and it's exhausting. And I can't tell you, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on, right? And like I was saying, last year, I really leaned into this, totally leaned into this. It was our first big year of doing this alone. And I knew I didn't want to be alone. So I made myself pretty busy. I went to Denver to spend time with one of my best friends. And then I went to St. Louis to be with my sister over New Year's. And that was exhausting. And I learned a lot about myself. And that was all the different things. But we in Denver were basically snowed in, and COVID was kind of ramping back up. So everyone in Denver was really, really shutting down a little bit again at that time. I remember one of my clients stressing out so much, and she voice messaged me and she was like, oh, we had this whole thing planned and we were going to make this thing and we were going to do this. And the dinner was supposed to be like this and this. She's like, I'm done. I don't really care. I'm making spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. And that's just what the holiday season is going to be this year. And I was like, great. That sounds great to me. That works for me. If you don't have the ham and whatever else you usually eat on, just like Thanksgiving, if you usually have a specific meal that you make and you don't make it this year, it's okay. Question, where did you get the idea that winter break means ramp the fuck up and keep going and doing? What? Huh? And for those of you going to Disneyland or doing the whole shebang, bless your heart. Like, good luck to you. Like, holy shit. It's called winter break, like break for a reason. You're supposed to calm your body down. That's why most feel like there's less to do at work in the end of the year. There's, slight things. We don't really work the last 2 weeks of holiday season. I need you to take advantage of that. I need you to take advantage of that. And I need you to take full advantage of slowing your brain and your body down. It's not easy because you're so ramped and used to living in a different state of being. But this is the time to be able to feel present and watch your kids and watch the looks on their face when they open up the presents or when they're at the, Christmas light event or when they're making a cookie bouquet or like whatever that thing is called, a gingerbread house, excuse me, like cookie bouquet. Listen to this Jewish woman over here. Oy vey. Anyway, potato lockies, anyone? But for real, like for real. Yeah. Like I want you to slow the fuck down. Slow down. Sleep in, eat whatever the heck you want and drink tons and tons of water, right? Don't ramp up with tons of holiday parties and binder all-nighters. And like, I don't want you to feel exhausted. I want you to feel refreshed. Now, that may not be reality. It may not happen, but I'm going to hope for you. And what I want is your recovery into feeling great can take place and leading back in, right? So what I want is for you to feel so good and so well rested and like, oh, that was such a break, that you're going to have to take some time to then ramp back up to get back to the level that you were at and kind of get back in the groove around the third week of January, where it's like, okay, we're back in the groove. We're doing our routine. We're feeling good. Yeah. And if you allow all of that, you'll be able to enjoy your holiday season. Don't put pressure on yourself to do more. Don't put pressure on yourself to show up or go the extra mile. Side note, if someone's hosting you, sit your ass down. Let them host. I know that sounds so rude. Take a breath. Take a breath. They're the ones that decided to host. If you're hosting and you need help, ask. Hey, Sally, you mind helping me with the dishes? Like, ask. Yeah. I find that we're so scattered all over the place because we want to make sure that we help out or we want to make sure that we do the right thing or we want to make sure that we did. It's like that will drive your brain to the point of exhaustion. Now, let's discuss the emotional state of the holidays. I personally have never felt the fog or depression or hardness of the holiday season. I don't know if it's because I celebrate Hanukkah and I'm Jewish. Like I don't really know. Maybe it's just, that's just not like, I'm okay with it. Right. And some aren't. And I know that there has been a lot that's gone on recently, and specifically Twitch passing and such shock, right? And I know that stretches so far. Like the conversation is finally happening that depression, unhappiness, suicide, like it can look like anything, right? You can be dancing on Ellen for years and then all of a sudden out of like, what? Like, what do you mean? Right. And I very much shared on my own page, like that is what everyone felt when Jonathan passed. And it was shock. And so we don't recognize when someone's struggling. You individually need to take a scan of how you're doing. And that's why I've just basically said everything I've said beforehand of like slowing down, enjoying the present moment, and like stop for a moment worrying about the finances in your life. Stop for a moment worrying about how your body looks. Stop for a moment worrying about your children looking precious in all their matching outfits and the buttons buttoned the right way. Like Charlie came downstairs in a shirt the other day with the hood facing forwards. Like he had a hood on the shirt, on the t-shirt. And I was like, hey, Charlie, take a check, look down. And he was like, I was like, what's that? He's like, oh, look. It's to cover my face. You see? I'm like, mm-hmm. I'm like, are you comfortable? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, bye. Have fun at school. Love you. We have to learn how to not sweat the small stuff and take care of our brains and bodies instead. I find that we focus on so much stress and so many other things in our life that we don't necessarily know how to focus on mental health and taking care of ourselves. And if you can't get each staff at school, not just teachers, the present, or if you're up all night baking the special recipe of the Christmas Kringle cake, or just write them a note, handwritten note, like let them know. I know you want to go above and beyond, but just like tell them, even say it to their face. I want you to be able to enjoy your life. Like that's what this is hands down about. And the reason, my most why reason is because, I mean, I've already blinked and my kids are 8 and 5. Like you're going to blink and they're going to be off to college, and so am I, right? And when you have more awareness, when you have more presence within your life, time slows down, which means you get to enjoy more of it, which means you get to feel how it feels to live in the moment. I so oftentimes tell my clients right around this time, like, I need you to pick a few moments, if for no other reason than to just practice it or witness it, of like, do a scan of the room and remind yourself how incredible your life is. And this is why you're working so hard. We're working so incredibly hard to enjoy moments like this with our children. And it's okay if you're struggling. It's also okay to share those struggles, and it's also okay to talk about it with anyone and everyone that you need to. Like, I don't really care if you're telling your neighbors down at the mailbox station, like say it, like talk about it. It's okay. It is okay to talk about it. And it's really hard to feel so alone at this time in the year, because it's a time where you think it, quote, should. The shoulds, right? It should be jolly. It should be right. It should be festive. It should be parties. It should be happiness. It should be fa la la. It should be, I don't, right? Like it should. Like, fuck that. What about it is? It is gloomy outside and it is snowing. It is exhausting to baste the ham. I don't know if you do that, but maybe you do. Like it's, like it's exhausting. Like just let it be what it is. Right? One of my favorite books, I actually have it sitting right here on my desk at all time because I show it to so many people, is, and if you're looking for a holiday gift, give this to someone or buy it for yourself. It's called The Crossroads of Should and Must. And while it talks a lot about career, to be quite honest, of like how to find the career of your dreams or how to have the life of your dreams, right? Of like, I should go to med school, but I must be an artist. Like, things like that, right? This book was the catalyst for my change. I remember reading it. We were unsure. Eli may or may not have had a broken bone in his body. I don't remember what it was. He was so cute. We were in the ER and I carried this book around with me in my purse for months, if not years. And it reminds me, like, what is your must for the holiday season? Like, I must slow down. I must go to yoga. I must, I don't know, drink water. I must see XYZ. I must tell my family thanks, but no thanks. I must hold boundaries with them. I must say no. Like, what are your musts? I must talk to someone about how bad I'm doing. I must talk to someone about my struggles. Like, what are your musts? Those shoulds, you can look at them and be like, fuck you. Like, those shoulds are patterning. They're things that you've been told you need to do. Those are things you think you need to do. Those are things that you've been conditioned by society to do, right? I mean, we're kind of like, the craziest part is we're living in such a different way of life now, right? Where it's like, you get to be whoever you want. You get to identify with whatever you identify with. You get to be whoever you are. You get to state your needs. You get to request your needs. You get to be selfish in all aspects of your life and like state that you matter, right? And it's okay to lean into that. It feels wildly uncomfortable. Yes, that's your brain saying ding, ding, ding. This feels different, but that means you're doing something really great for yourself. You're doing something different than you have before. Yeah. I know that you can get so swept up in the cheer and holiday spirit of what we should be doing, but are you enjoying it? Or are you exhausted? Like, I don't want you rolling up Monday morning when you're getting your kids back to school being like, I'm fucking exhausted. Hey, Sherry, nice to see you. So glad the kids are back in school. How was your holiday? Like, no, I want you to be able to have such a calm about yourself and be like, that felt really good. It was so great to be with the kids and spend time. And like, yeah, that felt really great just to have a moment, just to breathe. Yeah, that's what I wish and want for you. And like, we're not even going to go or tap into this like New Year's resolution bullshit. I don't know. Maybe we'll say that for another podcast, but like, let's just don't. Let's just don't. Like, that's so much pressure on yourself. Like, you're doing enough. You're doing enough. I want you to think of the holiday season as another damn Wednesday. Like, it's just another day. It's another day. Stop putting the pressure on yourself with the shoulds and just enjoy the meatballs and spaghetti of life, right? Like, it's okay for it to be a shitstorm. Yeah. I was on a call last year, and again, I track nervous systems for a living. So I was on a call with two of my incredible women that I've worked with in the past. And she was revved. Like, oh boy, was she revved. She was having our conversation, the three of us, while she was stuffing envelopes with her holiday cards. And I'm telling you, there must have been 500 there. Like, I was quite impressed, like I was. And she was like, I don't know. Like, I can't, like this and that. Like, we had to help support her into, it's okay if not everything gets done. Like, it's okay if you take a breath. It's okay if you skip the holiday cards for the year. It's okay if you just eat pizza. Like, you know what we do? You know what we, meaning my tribe, you know what we do on Christmas? I'm sure you know, I'm sure you've heard, we order Chinese and watch movies because that's the only thing that's open. We're shutting down so that we can all rest. I don't want this to be a ramp up. I want this to be a ramp down for you. What that means is 95% of parents, and yes, I've called myself a gas pedal, 95% of parents working and stay at home are gas pedals. You've got to be, right? You got to be ahead of the curve, watch before the thing breaks, and walk on eggshells around everyone and continue smiling. And like I said, I got to go take a shower, but like keep the shower running and have the makeup on and look great and have the awesome outfit and all these different things, right? Like, we are gas pedals. I need you to learn how to step on the brake. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You may even feel like this is laziness, but stepping on the brake allows you to slow your brain down into finally feeling that presence and calm and peace that you so long to feel, right? The cheer and blessings of the holiday season. I promise that you can have that. Like, I promise you can. And if you are feeling down and low over and through the holiday season, just because that's not me, just because I don't personally feel those things or I don't feel the stress, right? Of, making potato latkes. Like, I don't feel that, right? But that's so real for you. And it matters. It matters. And if someone comes to you and starts sharing with you that they're struggling, active listening. Wow, tell me more about that. Thank you so much for sharing. It is more than okay to feel that way. We're not going to be like, come on, here's another drink. Let's go. Like, no. If someone shares with you that they're struggling, slow the fuck down, sit your ass down and listen with your eyes and with your ears, not your mouth. Let them know I will always listen. Like, thank you for sharing is the best response you could ever give. Wow. Thank you so much for feeling safe enough to share that with me. It is more than okay to feel that way. And if you need more support, call a hotline, DM anyone that you see on any of these pages that you find a connection to, including me. Gift yourself the gift of support this year. Enroll in a program. Doesn't have to be mine. Enroll with a therapist or find who you connect with and say, I want life. Like, I want this. I know this time is hard. I know it brings up so much, especially with extended family and friends and in-laws and all the different things. But my wish for you is to lean in more to yourself than ever before in your life. My wish for you is to be present through the holiday season. My wish for you is to slow the fuck down, sit your ass down and put the phone down and take a look at the world around you that you are creating, because this is not easy. I don't care if you're a working parent or a stay-at-home parent or a single or a solo or a divorce. Like, I don't care. Like, this is hard. It's not only hard to be a parent, but we live in a different world than our parents raised us in. And it's okay to accept that and lean into that and give your brain and body all the support it needs. My wish for you is extra rest, extra water, right? If you're feeling dysregulated or down, essentials, skip everything else. Food, Water, rest. My rest has a direct link to feeling down and stressed. When I don't get enough rest, all doesn't make sense for me. And I need to go back to the basics every single time. I wish you joy. I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you support. I wish you love. And I wish you the gift of stepping on the brake. And until next time, XOXO, Dr. B.